Welcome to the Uriah Jokes Podcast Special True Crime Edition, where we go undercover and uncover tales from a previously private investigator turned public investigator. Now, the man who knows all the public private investigations because he is the one signature correspondent for the Uriah Jokes Podcast, because this is Uriah Jokes Podcast True Crime Edition, and this is the Uriah Jokes Podcast private investigator turned public investigator, and we also eat pie. Throughout my time as a private investigator, there have been cases that have haunted me throughout my career and continue to haunt me to this day. Sounds like a haunting tale. And now, because I'm a private investigator turned public investigator, I will be able to share these tales and the tales of the hauntings that will haunt you, the public, privately and publicly. Sounds like a haunting tale. It doesn't sound like a haunting tale. It is a haunting tale. Sounds like we're in for a treat. Does it? Does it sound like that? Yes. Does it sound like that? Does it sound like that? Yes. Sounds like this one's gonna be a rough case to follow. I'm not a dog. Looks like I'm gonna be barking up the tree for answers. Are you barking up the wrong tree? Yes, because that's a haunting. You better back up. Sounds like we're in for a treat. A treat is something that you eat while waiting in the line at the grocery store, because there's a line and there is all these candy bars and chocolates in front of you waiting to be eaten, and to be eaten up by the appetite of not wanting to waste my time by standing in a line with the buffoons that's always stand in lines, whether or not they're checking out or self-checking out. I once before, when I was publicly not a private investigator, I worked at a grocery store, and a guy would come up much like most customers who like to buy something the store is selling. So that's why when someone would walk up to me, I would be buying via the store what they are selling. And this guy every time was like frozen pizza and a 6-pack of Budweiser. And I told him the self-checkout is that way. Looks like I'm gonna have to treat myself to a candy bar. And eating a candy bar, you may call that stealing, but I call it a waiting tax. Outstanding. I call it a waiting tax. I wait a lot. If time is money, then time is a treat. So treat yourself to the time of the free time, and that free time is something where you don't have to spend money, which makes it free time. But if you do something in the free time that costs you money, then you are using that free time to spend money to treat yourself. And they owe me money for waiting in time to pay me for the groceries. Time after time, you can fall, you can wait, and if I fall, you better have my back. This is your most haunting case. I hope that if someone is waiting, even if time tick is money, a treat is a sad excuse for me to spending money to go to the massage chair located inside the food court inside of a mall. And inside of a food court inside of a mall is one of the worst places to be. But if you're getting a massage while surrounded by the biggest buffoons that ever created in the history of time, then you aren't wasting your time, because you are inherently better than all of those people. I went to this massage chair to realign my chakras because I had a bad back. having a bad back, but I was surrounded by children, crying kids. And my chakras and my auras weren't taking their negativity. It was taking the negativity of what they were doing and making my bad back bad, haunting me throughout my career of having a bad back. Absolutely riveting. I'm trying to solve the case of my bad back. And because if I'm in the bad back of the massage chair will take me to an elite subconscious consciousness. Riveting stuff. A tale of a good back turned bad back. That's been haunting me for years, and that's the case of my bad back. A true tale, if you ask any detective, any private investigator, even a public investigator like myself, they'll ask you what cases haunt them, and it's the ones that they have not solved, but it's also the ones that follow them everywhere. And when you have a bad back, it's connected to yourself, so everywhere you go is a haunting of the case that you are unable to solve without seeking outside help. But as a private turned public investigator, if you're seeking outside help, you're no longer an investigator, you're the investigator. And I'm sure my listeners are going to be throwing out their back with all of this information. They say don't write a check that you can't cash. Well, don't pick up a heavy item with your back if you cannot pick it up. Riveting. This could be the final straw that breaks the camel's back. And I have cases and mysteries to solve. And I'm not even a camel. I'm a private investigator turned public investigator. Just gotta get over my humps. My lovely lady humps. Check it out. I'm proud of you. We have gone a long way in these 2 episodes, and I can say these words as a public turned private investigator that I am proud of you. Oh yeah, we're running low on time here. Running low on time? Time is never on the side of the investigator. Haven't you seen the show 48 Hours? When there's a 1 hour difference when the time goes back, when they actually gain an hour for a murder to solve. A mystery of a murder to solve is exactly what a private investigator would do. Only this mystery is the mystery of why I have a bad back. Even if the public and private don't know it all the time, time is never on your side. Unless you own a clock tower, then you own time. And towering over the people of the peasants of the people. I've gone everywhere searching for the cure of my bad back. I've tried to correct it through positive therapy, through realigning of my chakras at the local mall, only to be surrounded by old people that are even too old to enroll in AARP. We're running low on time here, sending me to AA with my drinking problem, and it may be a temporary cure for my back, but my delirium through going through the bars is not the way to solve crime. That's a public-private investigator. My bad back can sometimes lead to good things, but the crime right back to being on the right track to solving the crimes. While I sat in the chair inserting quarter after quarter, I drifted into a deep sleep. A sleep so deep that even my deep dreams will intellectual. It's always been said that having a good sleep is the backbone to solving a good case. Dreams are controlled by the mind that is connected to the brainstem, that is connected to the spinal cord. And when you have a bad back with a spinal cord, it's impossible to have the deep dreams unless you're in a massage chair. Back to the Salt Mines is good for a good night's sleep, and as Back in Black played in the background of the mall royalty freestyle, and in the back of my mind I knew I'd be back to being a doorman if I didn't back up my mind into solving the mystery to be back in business as a private investigator and getting any case solved. This whole situation is ass backwards. Back to the salt mines is good for nobody. You're right. Back to nature. Back to school. Back in black. Guess we're gonna have to go back to school, where we're gonna go back to the drawing board as in making money through my business instead of just being a freeloader with my own cases to solve, such as the spinal tap into my potential of a private investigator who isn't even talking about the crimes that he is solving because he's on a podcast that doesn't quite know what the hell it's doing half the time. A man will do anything when his back is against the wall. Remember that, especially when it's a bad back, because it's a badass back. And when his back is against the wall, he will back right up into you by gaining backup of all the public turned private investigators, and will send them like a leash of flock of dogs and pigeons, sending you into a tailspin of garbage that is the city of crime that you've developed through the ideology of crime. What a story! Then boom, boom, I get a call on my phone and it's my chiropractor, who I've outsourced to be my investigator of my investigator, my informant. He told me he solved the mystery. I dropped the pencil, only to know that I needed to write down the instructions that he will now tell to me in order to solve my bad back. I have never anticipated in my life on Earth, including my life above Earth, while I fly in my dreams, that I would ever have the platform to have a private investigator turned public investigator, to have a chiropractor with a private practice telling you privately what is wrong with your back. For you to have the courage to tell this publicly after it was privately, disobeying your doctor's orders, who's not even a real doctor, he's a spinal doctor, and you tap into that resource to solve more mysteries. Fantastic!